Well, the first quarter of President Barack Obama's presidency is over. That would be the first 3 months. And Obama's average job approval rating for that quarter is at 63%. Where does that first quarter job approval average sit in terms of average presidents for their first quarters? Well, compared to recent presidents, it's pretty good. Let's look at the numbers here. We have to go all the way back, in fact, to Jimmy Carter back in the 70s to find a president who had a higher first quarter average. Go back to George W. Bush, his first quarter in 2001, he had a 58% job approval rating. Before that, Bill Clinton, his first quarter, 1993, 55%. George H.W. Bush, back in 1989, his first quarter was 57%, and Ronald Reagan in 1981, first quarter average was 60%. So all of those presidents, at least by a few points, had lower first quarter job approval ratings than Barack Obama in his initial quarter. Jimmy Carter's first quarter, of course, was back in 1977, and he had a 69% initial job approval rating, so he bested Barack Obama. Richard Nixon, 62%, roughly where Obama is now. Nixon's first quarter was back in 1969. Then the previous two presidents had much higher job approval ratings. JFK at 74%. Remember, Kennedy for his entire term had the highest average job approval rating of any president we've ever measured here at Gallup, and he certainly started out strong. And then Dwight Eisenhower, 1953, his first quarter was at 71%. So those first two presidents, starting with Eisenhower, did very well. But since then, there's been kind of a downward trend in these initial first quarter job approval averages. But Barack Obama, just to reiterate, kind of breaking that trend. His first quarter looks pretty good, the highest we've seen going all the way back to Jimmy Carter in 1977. Carter's a good example, though. Despite that strong start, his job approval ratings really fell in the last couple of years of his 4-year presidency, and his overall average for his term was not all that great. So a first quarter does not necessarily predict how a president's going to do for the rest of his term. I'm Dr. Frank Newport, Editor-in-Chief of the Gallup.